Good morning, everyone. Today, May 12th, we are going to cover the limits of product and quotient of two function. And as you see, the two rules in front of us. The first one is about what? So find the limit of each of the product of f of x and g of x equal the limit of the product the product of the two limits of f of x and g of x. So first, we have to find the separate limit, like what's the limit of the function of each function, and then we can multiply, or we can what next? Yes, we can divide. So let's go to the first question we have today. If you want to find here the limit of x, h x, and g of x, the quotient of h of x and g of x. So first, the limits must be equal the limit of x approach 0 of h of x over limit of x approach 0 of g of x, and g of x mustn't equal 0. Okay, makes sense, because we can divide by 0. So first we have to find what? The limit of h of x when x approaches 0. So now what are we going to do is limit of h when x approaches 0 is equal what? Yes, going to use the green one. Yes, 4. Good job. This is the limit of the h of x when x approaches 0. Sorry. And limit of g of x when x approaches 0. G of x log to g of x. Yes. It's equal what? Approach what? 0. So the function here, g of x approaches 0. What does it mean? Doesn't exist. The function doesn't exist because we divide by 0. Okay, that does not make sense. So we have, again, the limit of the first function equal 4 f of x, and here g of x. So 4 over 0, because the limit here approaches 0, so it doesn't make sense, so the function doesn't exist. The second question I want to talk about, if we flip the function, like if you want to find g of x over h of x. So g of x is 0 over f of x if h of x, the limit equals 4, so 0 over 4 equals 0. So please be careful about this. So this one, the function, the limit doesn't exist, okay? Next question we have, yes, f of x over h of x when x approaches negative what? 1. Okay. Again, h of x here, before we start finding, okay, f of x approach negative 1, so it's 0, because it's approaching negative 1 here. So the value of the function itself approach what? 0. So the first function we have, it's 0. Okay? But the second function, we have left limit and right limit. The function by itself, the limits, it's limit h of x equal what? Doesn't exist, because the limit from left and right aren't the same, not the same. But if you want to find the division here, so you have to find the limit from left and the limit from right for both. Like 0 over from left is what here? From left is 0. From left here is what? Is negative 1. Approach negative 1. Yes, when x approach negative 1, y approach negative 1. So 0 over negative 1 is 0. From right, the function here approach 0 also, f of x. And h of x approach what from left, from right, sorry. Yes, approach what? 2. 0 over 2 equals 0. So the limit from left and limit from right both equal 0. Okay, so the function here, yes, the limits equal 0. So when you divide by piecewise function like this one, so you have to find from left and right and divide and find the limit from left and from right, because I hope it makes sense for you. So again, find if you want to find the limit f of x of over h of x. So if you have one exact value for the limit and the denominator h of x is special exactly, h of x here what? From left is different than from right. So you have to find the limit from left and right for both, and then find the quotient, because we have quotient here, only in quotient, okay? And I check the limit from left and right. This is from left and right. If both equal what? 0, so your function is exist. What if you have here the function f of x, the limit equal, for example, 1, not 0. So here you will have what? 1, and here you have what? 1. So 1 over negative 1, 1 over 2. See here we don't have that. It doesn't the same. So that from left is not the same as from right. So the function doesn't exist. So only if we have f of x here equals 0. So here when you divide by any number, so it's still 0. So the limit is what? 0. Okay, be careful about this part. The next question we have, limit f of x multiplied by g of x. So you have to find f of x and g of x and then multiply both. And multiplication, we don't care about left and right, because when you multiply, there is no big difference. So limit f of x when x approach 2, yes, x approach 2, so the function equal what here? 0. Limit g of x when x approach 2, so it's equal to, yes, it's approach 2 here from left and right, yes. So if you want to find the product, so it means the limit of the first multiplied by the limit of the second. Sorry. So the limit of the first is 0 multiplied by 2, so it's equals 0. Okay. Try one more question about multiplication. Again, yes, f of x, x approaches 0, x approaches 0. So it's where, yes, this is a 0. Okay. So x approaches 0, so it means the value of the function what here? Yes, it's 1, so the limit equal 1. And here approach 0, yes, so from left and right it's different, so the product will be different, yes. Okay, so the function doesn't exist. Again, from left it will be 3, from right it will be what? 0. So when we multiply from left it will be 1 times 3 is 3, from right 1 times 0 is 0, so it's different, so the function what? Doesn't exist. Okay. Don't forget that. Have a great day, and please don't forget your assignment on Khan Academy. Please do your assignment. Okay, have a great day and see you tomorrow, May 13th.